What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about SERV Robotics. Go over some of the data points, what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 4.4%. A couple different things that's moving it today. So you did have GDP coming out kind of in line with expectations. So that's causing a nice push higher first thing, not just with SERV but pretty much across the board. But then the dreaded PCE did come out, and that is what caused a lot of stocks to go down. So essentially that's kind of killing the optimism for a rate cut for December. So it came in a little bit in line with expectations for the month over month, but the year over year did come in hotter than anticipated. So of course, nobody wants to see that. So you can kind of see just 2.3 versus 2.2. Then the month over month came in at 0.2, and that was the forecast. So of course, I think just stocks such as SERV would dramatically benefit from a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming December 18th meeting. But with this data, it looks like that's going to be kind of a no-go. So not necessarily the best. And even right now, though, a lot of stocks have recovered. Just clearly in SERV's case, like it's not happening. And one main reason is because of this. So big money is not buying SERV. So based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, there's only one transaction. Regrettably, it is a sell for $221,000. So yeah, like I said, I think just generally SERV has always struggled with this, and whenever you have just a very heavily shorted stock and big money not really buying, you are going to have a lot of suppression. So that's the unfortunate truth, and this is kind of what I brought up in my last video as well, on how it most likely will continue to trend down until there is that next big catalyst, or just something on a macro level to really incentivize buying. But even right now, though, based on this, there hasn't been any recent news. Last news came out on the 18th, so nothing really crazy. There was a couple 144s that was submitted on the 25th, and those did signal these individuals right here. So one individual sold 9,700, so not the best whatsoever. And it shows right here that it wasn't for tax purposes or anything like that. So it's fair to assume that it was just a straight up sell. Of course, people need money and whatever, so it's not really anything bad. But at the same time, you also had this right here. So 1,300 shares, this individual who is a officer and director. So it's just more of a negative viewpoint, even though both of these are very small amounts, and it is what it is. People need money for various reasons, but I think in general it's just more of a image problem. And as of right now, though, giving you a quick overview, shorts are returning around 35,000 shares. 15.06% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 3.73 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 69.86, so a little bit high. On a side note, that is an annual rate, not a daily rate, so just kind of be aware of that. Utilization is 90.2, and then short score is 83.72. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So you can just see generally on how much shorts are ingrained in just the day-to-day aspect of SERV, and does make up for a majority of the daily volume. So if shorts want it to go down, they'll bring it down. If they want to bring it up, they'll bring it up. So I think it's just right now the company needs something. I don't know if it's going to be their upcoming earnings in roughly February, but yeah, it's not, especially their last earnings. I think that was killed any and all optimism and momentum that SERV was getting. So it's just unfortunate. Looking at options, 78,000 in calls, 40,000 in puts, 54% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. And just generally, you can kind of see some couple outliers right here, but less and less volume is getting in through options. So even yesterday, the 26th, only 248,000 in total premiums. And then you have a couple random days, but yeah, I think in general, just people, there's better opportunities out there. That's a good way to kind of explain exactly what is happening with SERV. SERV, I don't think is down and out. but it most likely will kind of pull back up until it does get to a good value side of it. So I'll go over some technicals and what to expect, but these are some of the call options that are being purchased. So you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $9 range, and oddly around $10 for next week. And then looking at the bears, they are anticipating for it to be sub 850, and some anticipation for it to be sub 650, but very small amounts, like I said, dollar value wise. So take all this with a grain of salt, but based on this information, there's a little bit more upside anticipated. Moving over to here, so with that at $8.39, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 826 is going to be the next strong support, and then 881 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. Aside from that, $9.14 is going to be that secondary level, which it did kind of bounce off of. So I think SERV has shown plenty of opportunities and signs that it does want to go up. So like I said, it's not down and out, but it needs something positive. So if PCE didn't come out today, then yeah, I think it's fair to assume that SERV would be very, very green right now. But regrettably, PCE did come out, and that really killed the likelihood of that 25 basis point cut. But moving over to 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, so on the actual chart itself, so this is where you're seeing kind of it just flirting with that ALMA. That is one point to really watch for. So right now that is at $8.60. So for as long as it is below that, then this is where it's essentially in free fall. So those fib levels that I kind of brought up, just take note of those. That's going to be the next strong supports. Flip side, resistance levels, you pretty much have everything that I like to look at. So the 5100, 200 day is all very bunched together. So in order for SERV to get higher, it needs to get their crap together, or either put something news like positive or maybe some partnership or something along those lines, but it definitely does need something to really move higher. Stochastic RSI though, you see a nice bullish deviation, so blue line above the orange, and it is roughly at 44, so it's neutral, so not really oversold, not overbought, anything like that. Some of the recent ratings that did come out, as you can kind of see right here, so 8 days ago, $16 buy rating, that was done by Northland Michael, who has a 53% success rating. So hopefully analysts still continue to cover it and the company keeps doing what it's doing, and as long as it hits profitability by at least 2027, and I think that's kind of the forecast right now, then you'll have more and more institutions really paying attention to it. And as of right now though, I really do like the fact that institutions are getting in more, so it does add a certain level of support, but still, some people might disagree with me on that. On a side note, if you're looking for a lot of good information, such as analyst ratings, forecasts, financials, everything under the sun, take a look at 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 for all this to be completely free. So let me know your thoughts on SERV. Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? Are you dabbling with options? Volatility is very, very low. So if you are optimistic on SERV, I'd really recommend a lot of you to kind of just research buying calls, what that's all about, because yeah, if you are optimistic and bullish, it's kind of cheap, so pretty good return on investment is on the table. So let me know your thoughts. And then one final thing, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto, and I put out a couple crypto buy signals even late last night, and a lot of those are already up 15 to 20%. So pop over, link in the description below and also the comments, and take a look. Even aside from that though, I did have a lot of free content on there, such as even options, so very basic and intermediate, just strategies that individuals can do. So really recommend a lot of you to pop over there. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.